In Deuteronomy 27, Moses set up a way for the Israelites to hear both the curses and the blessings that God was going to give them if they were going to be obedient or if they weren't going to be obedient to him. And we talked in yesterday's video about how God set up on two mountains, Gerizim and Ebal, the different tribes that were responsible for announcing the blessings and the curses. That was in Deuteronomy 27. In Deuteronomy 28, he goes into more detail about the curses that God was going to bring on the Israelites if they were disobedient to God's law. And I'm going to encourage you to do something. I'm going to encourage you to read that and read it out loud if you can. Start in verse 15. So Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. And read out loud, read slowly, and just read through all the different specific curses God was going to bring on the Israelites if they were disobedient to his law. And I bet something is going to happen to you as you read through that entire chapter. You're going to be really overwhelmed by how awful God was going to make life for the Israelites. He doesn't hold back at all. He wants them to know he has the power to lift them up, and he also has the power to make them nothing. And he really lets them know that in verse 28. And I'm going to encourage you to start at verse 15 in chapter 28. Read it through out loud, very slowly. Don't stop. And then get into chapter 29. In chapter 29, after God gives the Israelites all these warnings about the curses that he's going to bring on them if they are disobedient to his laws, he reminds them that your own eyes have seen how I've been able to use my power to do whatever I want to do to anyone. He says, do you remember how I rescued you from Egypt? Do you remember how I provided for you through 40 years of wilderness wandering? You had food every day, your clothes didn't wear out, your sandals didn't wear out. Amazingly, over 40 years, those things didn't happen as you were living in a desert. He said, I used my power for your benefit, and then he gave them this sweet reminder in chapter 29 of why he did that, of what is the determining factor for how he chooses to use his power over everything and everyone. He said, I did this so that you would know that I am the Lord your God. God wanted them to know that everything he is, everything he does, every action he takes, it's always for your benefit. Always. Even when he's the one who gets hurt in the process. Jesus didn't have to hang on the cross. He didn't need to feel the whip. He didn't need to feel the thorns. He didn't need to feel the nails. He didn't need to just sit there and take it as people spat in his face. He could have done anything he wanted to them. He could have stopped it at any moment. He can do anything. But he chose to love you. He chose to forgive you. He chose to give you one place to which you can always look and know that God will always use everything he has to care for you. Always. You know what that means? And you don't need to be afraid of anything today. Anything that happens in the world, anything you see on the news, anything that anyone has ever done to you, or anything that you've ever done. God uses everything he has to benefit and bless you. Always. So that you could know that the Lord who can do anything is your God. And he's always looking out for you. Rest well tonight, my friends.